Hey guys, welcome to the Rap Chat podcast. We're your hosts, Luke Dick, Elias Eldridge, Sam Kenny, and welcome back to the show. Just before we head into the podcast, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else you get your podcasts, make sure to leave a rating and also leave a review. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Rap Chat Podcast, where we're going to post new clips and updates about the show every week. Welcome back, guys. Good to see you guys. Good.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Exactly.
It's been like 10 hours.
Yeah. So, interesting game tonight, guys. We're going. This is opening night.
Lots to talk about, though.
Yeah. There's quite a bit to talk about. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure as anybody, knows that it's a.
82 game season.
Yep.
Yeah,
we're not going 82-0.
Yeah, we're not, and and let's not sit here and say that like we're completely discoured for the rest of the season, and that this is going to reflect everything that
no reaction.
Season's over.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So and like I think we're all still excited to watch the Raptors play, it's a brand new team, and like another thing we got.
They still got to mold, man. They're like over half their roster is new too.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. It's going to take some time, and now we're playing real season games, and
yeah.
So, anyways, before we dive in too deep, let's go over exactly what happened. So we got the Raptors versus the Wizards opening night in Toronto.
First game in 600 days in Toronto.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
That's really wild. So we have we lost 98-83. That's the score. So yeah, let's go with. What do we have here on the list first?
Let's talk.
We're going negatives or we're going positives?
Let's talk first quarter.
Okay, yeah. First quarter, I think Fred VanVleet hit that three, and I was like,
pretty fired
I guess it's going to be one of those games. Crowd was going crazy. Crowd was, humming after the introductions, and then it kind of just fell apart
there was
after
so much hype tonight. There was a lot of hype going into this game.
They showed that little
clip,
video to start.
I almost cried, dude. I was
getting chills, dude.
Yeah, dude. I was
excited. I'm still excited, but
and dude,
underwhelming.
Every time the crowd got a chance, they were like cheering.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Delano Banton got the biggest ovation. Him and Scottie at least.
Yeah.
At the start of the game. Yeah.
Yeah. It's good to see that. Yeah. First quarter. It was exciting. I think it was fairly exciting. I mean, there was. I think it was. I wouldn't say it was low scoring, but I think there was. It was a little bit. I think both teams were adjusting a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it was.
Jitters, right?
Yeah.
Nervous. Well,
totally.
Everyone was nervous. First game of the year.
Elias, what did you have there for first quarter?
I thought I wasn't too surprised by anything. I thought Fred hit that shot. I thought it was solid. I didn't think anything too high or too low of it. It was more the second quarter when we started to really fall apart.
Yeah.
I thought the first quarter we didn't play great, but I thought it was more just nervousness, right? And the Wizards weren't that great either the first quarter. I think they were like 1 for 8 from 3 first quarter. We weren't much better. Then after that second quarter, that's just when we kind of started to fall apart.
Raptors lost the second quarter 31-19.
Yeah. That's tough. That's a lot of points to give up and not a lot of points to score.
That's quite a bit. So I think one of the things that I think that happened tonight too is I think we just came out shaky, flat. I mean, I didn't feel.
There was no energy.
There was no energy, and it was weird because the crowd I think was so ready, and we were all so excited. But these guys came out, and I think that it seemed almost too casual. That I feel like they were treating it as almost like a preseason game.
Yeah, and it's weird too because in the preseason it felt like the regular season.
Exactly.
Yeah, they come back.
I guess it just goes. I feel like we like. It just goes to show you, just preseason is never like really a reflection of what the real season is going to be like.
The Bucks and Suns both didn't win a game last year in the preseason.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. No, I think it was Fred hit that shot, crowd went crazy, and it started going down. And then Delano Banton came into the game, 25 seconds into his NBA debut, hit a half-court shot.
Yeah, and that was awesome.
Energy kind of came back there, but I feel like it was kind of too late at that point.
Yeah. So let's talk about just entire like the game as an entirety. What did you guys feel about the game as a whole?
I think it's pretty obvious the half court offense is a real issue.
Yeah.
Like especially if OG doesn't have it, and he was our number one option coming into tonight.
He didn't have it
he
tonight.
didn't.
What was he shooting tonight? What was his? What are his? What
he
are his
finished
stats?
with
3 for 17 from the field.
Wow.
2 for 9 from 3, and those are both just in the fourth quarter.
Damn.
Yeah. 10 rebounds, but I mean, no one else on our team can rebound that great at right now.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
That's a whole other issue. Like I
Yeah.
think it's just, we've got a lot of lanky wings and guards, but we are not very big. And Kyle Kuzma had 15 rebounds.
Holy.
Yeah, Kyle Kuzma had 15 rebounds. Harrell was killing us on the glass. Tenny Havdia was getting on the glass. Gafford was like just a beast inside. And I think it was really, I think that the rim protection is like a real issue. We've got length, but we don't have like that one big steady defensive like center. Like there's a reason why the Utah Jazz can get away with not having great perimeter defenders because they have Rudy Gobert, right? So the Raptors don't have that. Like we have to rely on not allowing people to get to the rim, and if that's not happening, then it's
Rudy Gobert just being a presence keeps people out of the paint.
Yeah.
So then the perimeter defense have to do too much, right?
Yeah.
Because they will buy him. Rudy Gobert's right there.
He's right there. Yeah.
Right there.
And we don't have that.
Freaking wall.
We don't have that. We have a couple 6'9" centers, and there's a lot of there's like a lot of praise for the Raptors doing this whole same height thing. I feel like no one really talked about the negatives of it, and there are negatives to it.
Yeah,
and
true.
that's just a given, right? Like, the size of rebounding is gonna be a problem. Interior defense, as we said. There's adjustments that got to be made.
It's true.
For sure.
I still like, to be honest, if I'm gonna be super honest, I still think that I'm a fan. I think I like the smaller lineup because if you look at the wingspans of these guys, man, like their wingspans are way over 7 feet. Like
our defense wasn't bad tonight.
No, and I honestly think rebounding is gonna improve. Like if you have, I think a lot of the problem is like people, we got to crash the boards. I think you got to crash the boards and you got to do the defensive things that nobody thinks about doing. Like in the NBA, like boxing out is like what? You know what I mean? Almost non-existent. But I think
we only got out-rebounded by 2 rebounds tonight.
Yeah, exactly. I honestly think that the rebounding is going to be fine. I think that I'm more of a fan of the length that the Raptors have. I think that it's gonna make up for certain things. But I also think that the length is sacrificed when everyone's shaky and not playing well and not playing in a rhythm and not working off of each other and communicating. And I think that was one of the biggest problems is there was no rhythm tonight. There was no fire.
To take like that, like I think the one play that really sums up that like the length that you're talking about, like the view for the future was there was like a 3-on-1 or 3-on-2 fast break. Delano dishes it to Precious, who throws the lob to Scottie, who finishes with the N1 layup. Like that is what the vision is. Like that play, those are 3 6'9" guys who can handle running off of a transition, getting a steal and then getting transition offense going. It wasn't.
And that's kind of where guys like Van Vliet stand out as being small.
Yeah.
Because we saw a lot of him not being able to finish on the rim tonight in transition.
Yeah, that was tough. That was really tough.
Our vision is to play transition offense. If you're kind of struggling to finish in transition,
yeah, then what exactly is that position providing at a certain extent?
Exactly,
for sure. So any more thoughts there, Sam, on game as a whole?
Well, I will take I thought the fourth quarter was really fun. Basically Delano and Scottie, it was just. I don't think there was a real thought that we were really going to come back.
It's cool to see the young guys kind of go after it.
And they brought some energy, and you saw that vision for the future. And then once it's one game, so I'm going to try not to overreact to the season on a whole.
Yeah.
And the Raptors won the second half.
Oh, interesting.
They outscored them by 5 in the second half.
We heavily out-rebounded them on the offensive boards too.
Yeah, and see, this is what I'm saying is I remember hearing Nick Nurse and the coaching staff last year saying, we struggled with rebounding. So what are we going to do? We're going to get guys who can have long arms in there, who are just going to get up and who are nitty-gritty guys who are not afraid to take contact and get rebounds.
There's the guys who are 1 through 3, even 4, who are the taller guys that can grab boards over the smaller guys.
Yeah.
Then the center position, that's where it becomes a problem.
That's where it becomes for sure. That's the one place where it's a liability for sure.
Yeah.
But then I think the response to that is either you get a center or you got to focus on defensive fundamentals.
You got to pick your poison.
Yeah, like you got to grind. You just got to grind. You got to do the things that nobody wants to do. Like you got to really crash the boards and get
it can be done too.
out of there.
Josh Hart gets 8 rebounds a game, and he's 6'5", 6'6", right? It can be done.
Absolutely,
it can be
absolutely.
done.
Yep. And that's the thing is the team's really young. Like the team's really young. I think like even somebody who we consider a vet like OG, like
24.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like, and a lot of these guys. So, and even somebody like Fred, like he literally became like a leader like 2 years ago on the team. So, and he's like 27. Yeah. So
we still need time to develop.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yep.
So a whole game, thoughts on the game as a whole there for you, Elias?
Yeah. I'm going to talk about a couple guys that stood up for me positively. So Delano Banton came into the game.
Yeah.
And he showed that, he's first round pick material, I feel like,
Mm-hmm.
I think he was really slept on in the draft, actually. And he came in, provided a lot of energy. Again, hit that half court shot 25 seconds into his debut. I think it's awesome. Made some plays, had that crazy pass to Boucher, split 2 defenders.
Oh, yeah.
Boucher.
Right.
Yeah. He showed good flashes. Scottie.
He didn't seem nervous at all.
No. He's got a lot of confidence.
That was pretty wild. Like he was. Normally when you see rookies, like especially like a rookie like Delano, who's not a extremely high prospect, there's not a lot of hype surrounding them. You see a lot of these guys kind of fall back into the shadow. You might see them creep up a couple of years down the road, but when you put him in a game and you see he's just out there making decisions that he would make whenever.
What we do, we draft really level-headed, mature guys, right?
Exactly.
Who just know how to play the game, right?
Yeah.
So we'd say, hey, go play basketball, as you know how to do, and they do it.
Yeah.
Another thing that stood out for me was Gary Trent Jr.'s defense.
Yeah.
It was better than I've seen it.
Mm-hmm. It was the best I've seen as a Raptor. The first half, at least. His first half defense was good.
I think there was a couple plays where actually he almost was playing good enough to the point that he didn't even know he was playing that well, and he wasn't overplaying on a defender, but he was
him and Nato were going after it for a bit.
Absolutely. And he was getting deflections. He wasn't even looking at the ball.
Yeah.
Like he was just guarding his man really great.
Letting them make mistakes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Letting them make mistakes and then getting deflections off of that.
Yeah, he was aggressive on defense. He wanted to play defense, which is all it takes.
Yeah.
And no, that would definitely look good for me. There were some bad players this game though, that I think need to be mentioned. Chris Boucher.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Chris Boucher for a second.
Come on, man.
Fuck.
Sam, I'll let you start.
Yeah. I'm already I like Chris. And it's one game, and he didn't get a chance to play preseason. Let's remember that. But yeah, his the shooting's one thing. It was just like some of the decisions with the ball.
Yeah, dude.
Awful.
The thing was, he's as soon as he gets the ball, he was just ready to shoot. I'm like,
and he's not good enough to do that, right?
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
And you can live with the missed threes, but it's the shot selection.
It's shot selection. That's exactly what it is.
And it's just like, there was the one play where they got a big stop. He got the board, and he tries to outlet it across the court.
And then
and momentum's just lost like that. And
and we were going a little run, and then he runs to the short corner.
Yeah.
A heavily contested fadeaway.
Over 2 guys.
And airballs it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't a pretty game for Boucher
Mr.
there.
Boucher.
He finished a few good highlights, though. He finished a Banton's pass. And Scottie had a really good no-look pass to him also.
Yep.
Yeah, that was nice. That was nice.
So he was on the receiving end of some good plays, but not much going for him himself. Another guy I noticed did not play well was Svi Mikhailuk.
Yeah.
I thought he dribbled way too much.
Definitely.
I like his role being a shooter on the team, right? That's what he is.
Yeah.
And he was trying
I feel like he wasn't moving around as much. I feel like
it was really stagnant.
At least what I saw in the preseason, like he was making great cuts, getting himself open.
He's moving at the ball.
Moving. And I feel like when I saw him with the ball tonight, I could feel the nervousness. I could feel that he was nervous.
That's what it was.
Yeah, and that he was shaky.
He's forcing everything.
There
was one play where, again, this guy's a shooter. Like I don't think of him as anything else but a shooter.
Right.
That's why I was happy we got him. He drove to the net and tried to do like the Euro step.
Yeah, he had a couple of those. Just put his head down.
Yeah, was that with Harrell there?
And
yeah,
he's so ineffective.
Same height as Harrell, and he Euro steps away from him and throws a hook shot with his left hand.
Yeah, and I think what opens it up for Svi is he's a shooter first, and then when the shot gets respected, he can use, because he does have a little bit of off the bounce, but not with a set defense.
As
like that. That's the play you're running with Svi coming.
He
off.
got it. He got the ball stripped from him quite a few times tonight. Like because he would be out on the perimeter and then he would like do shot fake or jab step and then actually go into the paint and then there's 3 guys there and then he just gets the ball taken right away from him. Like it's like you can't do those types of plays, man.
I wanted to be like how Danny Green was for us in 2019. You know, the guy in the corner, but then if he can fake it, pump fake, do a little floater, you know, shoot a mid range, right?
Sure.
Like, anyway, Steve Mikhailuk, underwhelming Toronto Raptors.
Yeah,
debut.
it was really sad. That was really sad. I mean, I think I'm mostly chalking it up to a little bit of nervousness.
Yeah, I'm not worried. I'm not worried about it.
I think he's like from what we like, at least from what we saw in OKC, like and in other places. I think he's shown he's got a lot of potential and that he's a good guy to work with. You know?
I'm not worried about it. I think nervousness got to him. He's overthinking.
Totally,
he'll settle down. He'll be fine.
Totally. I think okay. So one thing that I wanted to mention tonight too is I just didn't see a lot of great decision making coming from other players than like anybody else, but like basically Scottie and
there's a stretch halfway through the second, all the way to the end of the third. It just felt like it was getting worse and worse.
Exactly. They were just giving the ball up every time. The defense was just not there. Like
we're forcing shots early in the shot clock.
Oh man, that was almost like if there's anything that's going to sum up the game for me is like forcing shots and like bad drives, bad passes.
Mikhailuk again, he a few times just right into the shot clock, sprinted right into the heart of the defense and just jump pass, kicked it out and got turned over, turned over a few times.
Exactly. Yeah. And you know, one thing that you know, you hope to see from Svi is that, like, other than how he was playing tonight, he has really great court awareness and knows where people are on the court.
Yeah, you have to if you're a shooter.
Exactly. Yeah. And what we saw from him, at least in preseason, was that his awareness is really high. I think that he had a great awareness of where he was and where other people were in relation to him, and you know how he can get himself open and how he can get other players open as well.
For sure.
But I think tonight I think he had tunnel vision tonight. I
think
he was.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah,
it was he was trying to do too much and
I think
Game 1, these things will get ironed out, I hope. But
he's not a vet either, right?
No,
like,
how old is Svi?
He's been in the league a few years.
Yeah,
I think he was a senior in college, but he's still a few years in the league.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not worried about him.
Yeah, totally. If there's one thing I also kind of have to say is it almost felt like watching to certain parts felt like watching it was like an NCAA team playing an NBA team.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty.
There was getting down the stretch where I was like, they're making rookie mistakes. It's a team of bunch of rookies, like rookies, quote unquote
young
rookies,
guys.
but young guys,
inexperienced guys. Like Svi, he's been in the league 3 years. He's 24, but he hasn't played a ton, right? He didn't have huge roles in any like.
This was probably his biggest role he's ever had, like coming in as early as he did this.
Yeah, and like we're a team trying to win too, right? He was on Detroit, who wasn't trying to win. OKC not trying to win. We're trying to be competitive this year.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you know, I think he put too much pressure on himself, and the game he'll settle down. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So last kind of thing that I wanted to mention here is there was no rhythm on offense.
No.
There was just no rhythm.
No.
That's what really frustrated me and one thing that you did see is like from the Wizards is, man, they're moving the ball, they're getting each other open, they know each other,
and they're getting excited like Montrezl Harrell. I love that about him, man.
Yeah, the Raptors almost got there was rumors about getting Montrezl Harrell
a
while ago.
Last
big
year.
Man.
Yeah, it's true. But he posted something on his Instagram or something about wanting to come to Toronto.
I remember that. Yeah,
and he named his AU team the Raptors.
Yeah,
right. I totally forgot.
Yeah, I don't want him on the Raptors, but he is a good.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind him.
I wouldn't mind him either, man. He's a
good energy player. Does he think he can't play? His stamina's not fantastic. That's why he's a 6-man.
Yeah.
He comes in for 6 minutes at a time, brings energy, goes off.
Yeah.
Something else I think we should talk about is Scottie Barnes, NBA debut.
I thought he was pretty good.
Pick. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think for an NBA debut, steady. I think he was just as steady as he has been in the past, and I think I don't know, but I feel like he was still pretty excited all game. I think he was still
fourth quarter. He was still smiling and
doing his thing.
Yep.
And you know, man, like these guys have played so much basketball in their life. They know that, like, they know that you can't take this you gotta take this game with a grain of salt.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
You really
I'm not putting much. Like, it's showing problems we all thought were gonna happen.
It's
but
it's
not.
confirming problems that we're seeing.
So I think it's much quicker than we would have hoped or expected. But
it's game one. I'm not
exactly.
Yeah.
I am trying to hold in my Boucher overreactions just because I really didn't like how he played.
Yeah, this thing he hasn't played. He didn't play any preseason games.
Yeah,
you know,
I guess
like
so.
Yeah.
But I thought Scottie was steady. He had 6 turnovers, but I think that's a rookie debut. I don't think it's an overreaction. 5 fouls. Some of them were
cheap
BS calls.
Cheap fouls.
Dude, man. That's another thing we should touch on tonight. Is I think that the reffing was quite soft in a lot of places.
I don't want to say the reffing is why we lost. We lost on our own.
No. I think there was probably at least 3 or 4 calls that were just
and not both
like
ways
that one who was, I think it was Bradley Beal, and Scottie Barnes was like just straight up, and it was like he gets into him, puts up a layup, and it's like
it's the all-star calls.
I was like, come on, dude, that is just I think that's just a no call.
We were going a bit of a run there too. That's when we were going a bit of a run. I think that was like end of the third quarter or something.
Yeah, I was disappointed with that. Yeah, there was a couple of bad calls tonight. Just didn't care for, and I think
it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
it all evens out. Yeah.
So anything else that we want to mention about game recap?
Let's just forget this one, man.
Yeah,
let's forget it. Let's try to forget
it. On to game 2, man.
So just to quickly touch on good takeaways. Any good takeaways from this game? Just one thing that stood out.
I think we mentioned like Scottie looked good for his debut. I think Delano was fun, and I think the defense when they lock in looked pretty good.
Yeah. Fourth quarter was definitely much better. Better.
I like their defense stood out to me. It was good. Could be better, obviously, but that'll come. I think you might have mentioned it quickly, Sam, but the missing Pascal Siakam is showing. It's showing. We need that half.
But you know what? If I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't want to get over invested in once Pascal comes back, the team is gonna turn into a brand new team.
You're right.
Not at all.
But we need a shot creation.
It's true.
We really do.
Yep.
It's true.
And he'll help on a defense as well, getting up shooters.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not gonna hurt you.
Yeah. No, absolutely. He won't. But I don't want to get, Raptor fans or anybody else super hyped to the point where it's like, Pascal's our Lord and Savior. He's going to save the entire season and stop us from,
But some of these problems he can help.
Definitely. For sure.
Yeah.
And other teams, I think, know he's a threat too. They know he's a good player and that he can ball. So, good takeaway, Elias?
Pretty much it. That was the defense, and the defense looked good. I liked our rookies tonight.
Yeah.
Same thing. Gary Trent's defense, I liked it a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah. It was impressive.
I guess the offensive rebound I kind of want to touch on because we out offensive rebounded them 19-7. Kem Birch having 6 of them.
See, and that's the thing is Kem is one of those guys that it's like he may not look like he's doing a lot, but he is, man. He gets those rebounds, and that's one of the reasons why they got him from Orlando was because he was getting those rebounds.
Signed him to a 3-year contract too.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
The good takeaway I think tonight, honestly, I was impressed with the rookies, man. I just was like, I was like these guys, and I'm not gonna like, I don't want to like overstate the fact that I'm impressed with them, but at the same time, it's like I think there are better things to say about the rookies tonight than there were about the team as a whole and how we were paying generally. I was very impressed. I was so impressed with Delano Banton. Like,
came in level-headed, showed what he can do.
Exactly. So let's move on to the next top performer and top play. So I'm pretty sure we all agree on this one.
Yeah, I think we might have all the same.
Yeah.
I think my top performer is Delano. And then I don't know how you can't say that 3 to end the third quarter.
Shout out to Delano, man.
First NBA points. Yeah. That's special, man.
That is wild. That's wild. That's wild.
And the first game back, and those fans, we heard
awesome.
it, but
being from Toronto,
that's pretty awesome.
From Rexdale.
That's awesome.
Wild.
I love that for him, man. I love Delano.
And so then, top play of the game.
I really liked Delano's pass to Boucher. Also.
That was sweet.
That was really nice.
And the Scottie one
Scotty's
after that.
No-look pass too.
Yeah.
And then the end-to-end in that fourth quarter, Delano going behind the back, finishing with contact to the rim. That was.
Yeah.
Man, Delano.
He looked really.
Yeah.
So I thought coming into the year he was going to be like guaranteed almost full year 905.
We drafted him. That's what I thought too.
He looked more than comfortable out in the NBA court.
Totally. And he's literally playing against Bradley Beal, Spencer Dinwiddie, Montrezl Harrell. He was he's going hard. Like I remember, like I think it was like so there was an ISO at the top with Delano and I think it was either Bradley Beal or Spencer Dinwiddie. I can't remember, but he ended up giving the ball up, passing it to the on the around the perimeter because Delano had him locked up, man. Like I was just like, and you see, man, he's long, 6'9", and just. Dude, like this guy is.
I don't want to overreact, man, but I really like Delano.
Yeah, dude,
he was really good.
We're talking about.
Yeah, he was impressive.
I like his potential.
Yep. It was cool. It was really, really cool.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move into I think probably the second half of this podcast is more about questions that we've got for each other, and looking ahead. So let's go Sam first. So what's your question for us, Sam?
Yeah, so our questions today are going to be more expectations themed. First Raptors themed podcast of the year. And I think we can.
It's so sad. This is like our first Raptors podcast, and they just get fucking destroyed.
Well, let's forget about it. Let's try to keep it positive here.
Oh no! I'm not. I'm not too invested in that.
So I think we can all agree the Raptors have, good or not, they have their big three of OG, Pascal, and Fred.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to know from you guys, who is the most important player outside of that big three?
So, Elias, you can go first.
I kind of have a weird answer. I think it's the big men in general. I think, so we can say Precious and Kem. I think their performance is going to be huge for us. I think their presence needs to be felt every game for us to have a good chance at winning, right? They got to bring that energy. They got to bring that force. They got to be bigger than they are, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think a big X factor for us is the big men.
Yeah,
Precious and Kem. Yeah,
and I'd have to say the exact same thing. Mine was Precious. I think that Precious is probably going to be counted on a little bit more than Kem this year, just because of I think Precious just has a wider skill set to offer, and when you have him out on the court, like if he can get his rebounding to a place that Kem is at, I think that there's no reason why you wouldn't want Precious out there rather than Kem.
I can see them starting Kem over Precious when Pascal comes back, just because Pascal and Precious kind of do play the same.
Oh, fair enough.
But who knows? Nick Nurse switches it up all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really tough.
That's kind of why I picked both, just because I feel they'll have a similar.
Yeah, I agree. And so like you said. I think you brought up a really good point was that we don't have a true center. So like you got to play bigger than you are. We got to have these big men out here who are going to, facilitate the game for us. We need them to be our brick walls, our stoppage guys, the guys who are really going to help us stretch out the team and make us, a threat, right? Because other than that, like you can get all the guards you want. These game like the NBA, the talent pool of players is full of guards. Right, but what we really want is good big men. When
other teams look at us matchup wise, they're gonna see our lack of size, and that's what they're gonna go after the entire game. Right?
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's so important that they play well for us. And
and if you look at Eastern Conference, there are a lot of great
big dudes,
interior players.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I said this earlier in the pod. It is so instrumental for a good defense to have a big rim protector. Like you look at Brook Lopez with Milwaukee, Rudy Gobert, Miles Turner, DeAndre Ayton, Embiid. Yeah, it's so instrumental. End of the games, going small, I think, is the way to go. But
they could just finish out the game sometimes just much better.
But you need that Embiid going against this team right now. Like that's going to be.
If we played Philly tonight, we would have got destroyed.
Destroyed. So I think it's just, and the big men, Kevin. Pressures aren't growing, right? So I don't know what the answer is to this. Like it's going to be an issue all year, but just going forward, it'll be interesting to see. And I think OG doesn't solve the rim protection part, but I really like OG as a post defender. I think he's guarded Jokic and Bam Adebayo in the past like really well.
Yeah.
But yeah, the rim protection, it's going to be an issue all year. But especially playing against Embiid 4 times a year.
Yeah. It'll be
tough. It'll be tough.
So, Elias, your question for the group?
So mine's kind of a big question. I want to know what your guys' ideal Toronto Raptors 10-man rotation is for this season. What 10 guys do you want to see be in their rotation? I want 5 starters. I want 5 bench guys. Luke.
Okay, so, Fred, OG, Pascal.
Yep.
Like I said, I think I'm a little bit more of a Precious guy rather than a Kem guy.
I also, I guess, kind of ties to another question I had. We'll hear it, but do you like Goran or do you like Gary Trent.
I think that Goran was a 6 man in Miami. He came off the bench, and
Kendrick Nunn too. Like it was an actual role.
Exactly, and I think that I don't want to push. I think Goran can be a leader coming off the bench. I think he really can. I don't think that you need him starting. I think that Gary Trent. I think that the skills that Goran can convey to Gary Trent and can be done anytime, in practice, and he doesn't have to start. I think that Goran's gonna be a good guy. I think I'd rather have him coming out to the bench, to be honest. I think Gary Trent should be the guy starting. I mean, we want him out there. I want him out there because I want him to get minutes. I want him to get touches. I want him to start developing his own game, because at this point, Gary doesn't really have much of his own game. You know what I mean? Like he's a very, at this point, he's kind of a bare bones type of guy. He could go any sort of direction. So there's a lot to work with when it comes to Gary. But I feel like if we start Goran, like Gary's gonna start coming in the shadows of the team and feeling like he's not going to develop a spot for himself and develop his own particular game. So
yeah, I agree with you. Because he's 22, right? And realistically, odds are Dragic's getting traded at the deadline. Yeah. Realistically, his last year was contract, right?
He's gone, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't understand why we don't keep Dragic off the bench and have Delano or Malachi play with him to learn how to be a point guard in the NBA. Because Goran's done it for 15 years now. And
Goran himself said, I think at the beginning of the year, he's more comfortable coming off the bench.
Yeah, that's
the reason I like him off the bench.
That's why he came off the bench in Miami, because he wanted to.
Yeah, and then I remember when we got rid of Lowry, or even before, it was last summer when we re-signed Fred VanVleet. He said he's looking forward to. He said Kyle's gonna be gone in the next 4 years eventually, roads retirement or whatever. And he said, I'm looking forward to leading this team as a point guard. I don't know why we're starting 2 point guards right now when we have Fred VanVleet. Yeah. I understand Fred VanVleet isn't the greatest playmaker. We also have Scottie Barnes, who led us assist this offseason or this preseason. I like starting Gary Trent, especially today with no Pascal. Gary's the best shot creator we got.
Well, my starting 5 is completely different from Luke's.
Really?
Yeah. So my ideal 5 is Fred, OG, and Pascal, and then I'm going Scottie, and I'm going Kem Birch over at Chua, because I want Chua to have Dragic off the bench, and then I want to see Precious.
Wait, say that 5 again.
Fred, OG, Pascal, Scottie, Kem.
Just that you're having OG at the 2.
Yep. And then I like Kem starting with that group, because I like Kem's interior defense more than Precious's. And then with Precious, I want to see him. Like you said this earlier, he kind of overlaps with Pascal. He's obviously not even close to Pascal, but he can still, I want to see him create a little bit on his own, and then I like him and Dragic working together off the bench, and I really want Dragic off the bench because I want him just to go out and score. Like, I want him to be a creator. I think he's looked a little passive trying to fit in with Fred and OG, and I think he's just let him go out.
Just let him lead the bench.
Yeah, and then just be a spark plug and give you 13 points off the bench or something like that, and help Kem, and then he's helping either Delano or Malachi or whoever, Young or Gary. You've got that veteran presence out there with them, like as a stabilizer, and then Scottie with that starting lineup. I think that's the vision moving forward. Scottie, OG, Pascal playing together, and I think, that shooting.
Keep the mic just a little bit closer, a little bit closer, Sam. A little bit closer.
That shooting is going to be, that could go really badly, and that might be the reason why they don't play together, but. I want to see. I want to see that defense.
I'm listen. I'm not even fully invested in my starting lineup either.
We're not saying you're wrong.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying. I'm actually super curious about what you're saying, Sam. I'm very intrigued by.
I'm interested.
Yeah, I think it's a good take.
I mean, we can all say our starting 5, then we'll go around and do our benches. So
sure.
I do like that a lot, though. I have Fred, Gary, OG, Pascal, Kem Birch right now. And I have Scottie being our 6th man. I really want Scottie to start, though, but I just don't know where he fits in the starting lineup. And we have to start OG and Pascal, obviously.
Yeah.
I thought about Pascal at the 5, but with OG guarding the big men, though. And I don't know. I think consistently, I prefer start actually a center, Kem Birch, and bring Scottie off the bench and have Goran off the bench as well to teach the point guard to Scottie as well.
Yeah.
So we all agree with Goran off the bench.
Yeah.
And then
Fred, OG, Pascal, we all have that.
And then we all have one of Chem or Precious. So I have a feeling we all have the same. Well, maybe not. So I guess my 3 off the bench would be, joining Dragic and Precious would be Gary, Chris, even after this game. Gary, Chris, and then I'm putting Yuta in there as my 10th man.
Luke?
Mine would have been Scottie, Yuta, and I don't know. Like I'm inclined to say Boucher. I'm inclined to say Chris, but then I don't know, man.
I think Chris has to be there right now.
Yeah, he really does. I mean, until
it's his spot until he
fully loses it.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. Is just like, I don't want to invest too much in some person, but I think personally that Delano's got a shot to become in the 10-man rotation. I think Delano absolutely has a spot to play in there if he can. And listen, this is not something I'm not going to die on this hill. If Delano starts playing not as well, I think then we got to put him in the 905, get him some more playing time, and that's just how it is. But if he keeps playing well and if he keeps producing the way that he is, I think that he deserves a spot in the 10-man rotation. And I would love to see him out there with Yuta. I'd love to see Delano out there with Scottie, and I'd like to see him with Dragic too. I think that would be a really cool lineup. I think that would be fun. I'd watch that. It'd be really fun.
I think anything involving Delano's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I guess my 5 of the bench. So Goran, Precious, I still Boucher, Scottie, and then I can see Flynn and Banton going back and forth. This is my ideal. This is what I want. Realistically,
Yuta.
Yeah.
No Yuta.
No, I know, guys. I know.
Well, yeah.
So
how could you do this, Elias? I'm stopping the podcast.
Let me explain. I was thinking about Svi too, man. I like Svi a lot.
Dude, I had Svi on my list as well. I mean,
that's why I asked this question.
Yeah, that's what the Raptors have a deep roster,
exactly,
man. When you asked the question of 10, I'm like, to be honest, can we go like 12?
That's what I thought too. I was like, geez.
10 is, and the way that Nick Nurse does his lineups, like.
Here's my thing with Yuta Watanabe. I love Yuta Watanabe. I don't think he has a spot in 10-man rotation fit-wise right now. And I think we trade Boucher maybe last year of his contract, that's when he moves in. But right now, same thing with Scottie. I'd love to start Scottie. I want Scottie to start by the end of the season. I want him starting by the end of the season. Right now, I don't think it's the right time for fit. I don't think right now it's the right time for Utah's fit.
I can agree with that, I mean? For sure.
I think I really like the fit with Gary in there at the starting shooting guard. And even you can do Pascal to 5 too, and have Gary starting with Scottie also. I think
that's the fun team with this. That's the fun thing with this team. Like, there's so many combinations. Like, that's the point. Like,
and that's the whole thing with the whole height thing, right?
Yeah.
Where you can mix and match. Yeah, like you just said, you can mix and match like crazy. So right now I've Flynn / Banton. I love Banton.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Is I like Malachi.
I know.
I still like Malachi.
Yeah.
He didn't even get a single. He didn't get a minute tonight.
Sam was telling him to go back to the 905 after Banton was playing well.
Yeah.
Get those minutes.
Yeah, that's what I got for that.
All right, so then my question to you guys, and I brought this up to you guys in the car while we're going for some food at
Don's Run.
Yeah, at
eat our feelings away.
Halftime Don's Run.
Wiping my tears with the wrapper of my McDouble. So okay.
Wipe your tears with the wrapper of your McDouble.
Okay, so my question for you guys is, and I saw this on a YouTube video. I don't want to take complete credit for this question, but I think it's a good question. I'd love to ask you guys this question.
Shout out
too.
YouTube. There we go.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is just a question that a lot of Raptor fans might be asking at this point is, will the fact that the Raptors have no true traditional center be a large issue for them this season, an issue that's going to really impact their wins and losses record this season?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, I think like we've touched on this like already, and I think just being in the Atlantic Division, you're gonna play the 76ers, 4 times a year.
For
Bucks
sure.
3 times a year too. That's Giannis and Brook Lopez.
Yeah, and
really
Vucevic,
tough.
and it's
Vucevic.
I think it will.
Indiana's gonna be tough too with Sabonis and Turner.
Yeah, dude. Oh my goodness.
Let me just say this because it sounds like we're kind of down on it, but I do think having the small centers will,
it's going to bring its own advantages.
There's pros and cons. There's definitely pros and cons.
Like the transition game is like they're going to be able to run. They're going to be able to switch. Like if you're playing a team.
Well, hold up. So just before you go, let's actually talk about some positives of doing the smaller center and smaller big men lineup.
Yeah.
Because I'm even honestly interested to hear what you guys have to say.
So my favorite part of it, I guess I'll go from the defensive end, is if you're playing a team with an elite guard shot creator. So say you're playing Brooklyn, who likes to play small as it is, you're going to want to switch most of those screen and rolls. So you're going to have, you don't want Precious or Kem on James Harden or Patty Mills even, or if Kyrie plays. But that they can hang with those guys at a, they're still at a disadvantage, but they're still like a respectable level. And I just think I like switching like that. I like being able to spread the floor when other teams can't go small against the Raptors. And then the end of games, like switching is really big at the end of the games. You can blitz with two guys. I think it lets you do a lot of fun, creative things out of the pick and roll defensively. It's like when it comes to like the post dominant players, that's where you struggle.
I think what kind of showed tonight where end of games, a lot of teams go small. Yeah. And that's kind of when we can take over, right? And that showed tonight where we won the fourth quarter. Where,
it's true. It's true.
A lot of teams want to end the game because you don't want to have a guy that can't shoot free throws and can't keep up, right? So they always go small at the end of the game, and I think that's kind of when we can step on some throats if need be.
And then so let's just quickly touch on the disadvantages of doing that.
It's the if we play a big guy, if we play a perimeter centric team, we can hang with them very well. But even we saw Montrezl Harrell feast us tonight.
Yeah,
he's a 6'7" center.
Feasting.
Like, there's going to be issues with it just defensively and just down low in general. So I can't say I'm excited to play against Joel Embiid, but it'll be interesting.
Yeah,
no, that's going to be
true.
Interesting. Yeah. I'm excited though for like the Raptors going against a team like the Warriors. I think that could be really fun.
I was literally just thinking about that. I was just thinking about
Draymond against Precious.
The Nets too.
The Nets,
We match up well with the Nets.
I think a lot of those games, if they do play well, will give the Raptors momentum. I think that because they're gonna look and say, guys, we beat the Warriors. Guys, we beat the Nets. Like we can branch out. We can get some steam going here. I think those are beatable teams for the Raptors for sure.
And we're not the only Charlotte's not a big team either.
Exactly. They have
Mason Plumlee and. Let's be honest, he's not gonna kill us. So and Boston's a small team also. We match up well with Boston. We're not screwed every game because of this, right? Like we match up well with a lot of teams still. It's just the teams with the big presence down low it's gonna hurt, but you gotta pick your poison. We gotta play through that, and we gotta beat them on other places in the court.
Agreed. All right, guys, let's move ahead. So, looking ahead to the next 3 games that we've got over the next week.
4 games.
Or we've got 4? I must have missed
next
one.
Wednesday also.
Oh, but are we going to...
We'll record after that one.
We'll record after that one?
Probably.
Oh, I guess we'll watch it together. Yeah. So, we'll all kind of sort of comment on that. So, the next one will be Raptors in Boston.
Friday.
I didn't know we were playing Boston this early. It's going to be fun.
It's the annual second game Friday night in Boston. Every year they do that. Every year second game's on a Friday night in Boston.
That's nice. Garden. So let's go Sam first.
Sure.
What are some things that you are kind of looking ahead to see from this matchup?
Well, Elias just said it. We match up really well with Boston, and my big thing I'm looking forward to is Scottie and OG defending Tatum and Brown.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be. We saw Scottie; he was pretty fun guarding Tatum in the preseason. He blocked that 3.
Yeah,
and I just want to see both of them can guard either Brown or Tatum, and I'm excited to see the full wing defense in effect.
I think our defensive potential will be in full effect against Boston.
Yes, totally.
It'll show a lot.
Oh
more.
Yeah.
And what do you got? What about you, Elias?
Same thing. I'm excited to see the defense against that team. I'm excited to. Play against a team we match up well against because
I got that.
It's typical stuff.
That one just jumped out at me right away.
Yeah.
Robert Williams and Al Horford are their big men.
Al Horford's out.
Probably.
Yeah. COVID protocols.
Oh man.
True.
He might be back, but yeah.
Again, Robert Williams though, he's 6'9" center. They have Cantor off the bench. I'm not worried about it.
He seems a lot bigger than that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, he seems so much bigger than 6'9".
Yeah.
I mean, so does like Montrezl Harrell.
Montrezl Harrell,
yeah,
exactly.
They're big guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even Kem Birch looks taller than 6'9".
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What are you thinking? Same thing.
I said they have a chance more so if they can play the defense, if they can really get up on these guys. I think one area that the Raptors will, have some challenges with is the shooting. I think that the Boston shoots it well.
They're a good defensive team too.
Yeah.
So I think the half court offense again, that's gonna probably be that's gonna stand out. I think as a struggle
for sure. But I was more so talking about playing defense against Boston's shooting. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Boston is like Tatum, like, and even in the preseason, dude, this guy was just wet, man. Like, these guys can shoot the ball, and the thing is the Raptors right now don't have an answer for that. You know, they might be able to play decent defense throughout the entire game, but if you can't answer back-to-back threes, like, that's gonna be tough. You know, that'll be a challenge.
Threes are worth more than twos.
Yeah,
I think a big thing is,
and it adds up quick.
I think it happened tonight. We weren't scoring off our good defense. We'd have empty defensive possessions, I guess, where they don't score because our great defense. We'll run back, we won't score, and then they'll hit a three.
Or we'll literally get a steal and then we'll turn it over.
That happened
so many times tonight.
That happened too many times.
That's. I feel like if this is like one play I can sum up in my head is the amount of times that we would steal the ball or get a turnover or force
four times tonight.
Exactly, and then as soon as we get the ball, we just immediately turn it over again by bad passes, quick decisions, or shaky layups that are just like, I remember Svi goes in for he's on a fast break, and instead of pulling it out to the perimeter, slowing it down a little bit because it was like a 1-on-3, he takes it in and throws up like a completely just useless shot that's not going to go up. I'm like, come on, man. Like, we got to know at this point, we got to start playing together as a team. But again, I don't want to shit on anybody.
No.
But, also, Marcus Smart always hits 5 threes against us. So
every time.
Got to expect that.
All right, let's move on to Raps and Dallas. So, Elias, let's start off with this one.
I like our matchup against Dallas, too, because they're huge and slow. We're a transition team. I think we'll outrun them very, very well. Yeah. And their offense is literally Luka Doncic and Kristaps. If Kristaps has not have a night, which has, last year it showed he was really inconsistent. I don't see that changing, to be honest with you. So I think if we run them out of the gym, to be honest with you. Luka's slow, Kristaps slow, Dwight Powell, Maxi Kleber, Dorian, they're all slow. So
it's not an athletic team, really.
No. I think that'll be a really good game for us. They do have size, so we'll have to lock in on defense. Kristaps, I said the same earlier. Kristaps will be wide open all night because he's a 7'3" guy, right? He'll be wide open all night, shooting over anybody, but you'll live with that.
Yeah, similar stuff for me. My only thing was before the season, Jason Kidd said he wants to use Kristaps more like in the mid post and in the post, which I thought was weird because he's never been a good post player. Anyway, but if Kristaps is going to be playing more as a traditional 5, I want to see like how the hell do you guard Kristaps Porzingis in the mid post? Is it just like open mid-range jump shots because Precious can't like get his hand up that high?
I think the way the Raptors play too is we shut down the big guy and we have to live with the rest.
Yeah,
so I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna aim for shutting down Luka. We'll throw OG or Scottie on him, probably OG, and we'll live with Kristaps. Yep. We'll let Kristaps take over if he wants to. If Luka's not,
it's true.
Kristaps isn't beating you on his own.
Yeah.
I think that's the same thing with Boston, where we're gonna aim for locking up Tatum.
And for sure.
If Brown wants to take over, he can take over. Marcus Smart,
Yeah. Well, we'll let him have it. Let him have it.
Yeah.
Give him some leeway.
Yeah.
To be honest, Dallas is a team that I really don't know a whole lot about. I mostly just, I'm aware of Luka Doncic and aware of Kristaps, but other than that, I feel like being an NBA fan, who like more of a Raptors fan in general, I feel like
that's not abnormal.
Exactly.
They don't have much outside of that.
Exactly.
Luka is their shutting down Luka. He is their whole system.
Exactly.
So your team is shut down.
And we do that. We shut down the superstar. We've done that for years. So I like our matchup against Dallas. Kristaps, they have Tim Hardaway Jr. who can catch fire. They brought in Reggie Bullock, he was solid last year. He's not. You can't sleep on him, I guess. But
yeah, it's also Reggie Bullock.
It's Reggie Bullock also. So
interesting takes, boys. Yeah. Okay, so then next one we got here, this will be a super cool matchup. is the Raptors and the Bulls. So let's go, Elias, Raptors and Bulls.
I think, again, this is an offensive-oriented team versus a defensive-oriented team. I think it'll be a battle. I think, but it could go like that. I could see this being the same type of game as we had tonight, where we just don't get it together against Chicago, and Chicago takes advantage. Because I think what Washington did tonight is right from the get-go, we weren't ready. First game in Toronto in 600 days. It's we weren't ready right off the bat, and they took over from that. I can see Chicago doing the same thing if we don't lock up right away. And once they get going, they have so much offense, they can keep it rolling. Right?
Yeah. Lonzo's just gonna exploit the hell out of any holes that he sees. Yeah. And the same with Zach LaVine. They're two super smart basketball players, like so intelligent.
And DeMar's back in Toronto that game too.
Oh yeah. Oh jeez.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
Sheesh. Sam?
My similar stuff. I'm really excited to see OG in this game because I don't think Chicago has anyone who can guard him.
Yeah.
I think I wrote down OG will eat. And I don't. Vucevic isn't great in the paint.
Patrick Williams will probably guard him.
Yeah, that is true. But I
think you're right. Yeah,
I think that's a game for OG to really break out. He's not going against many elite wing defenders, and if he's got DeMar DeRozan on him, that could be like a 25-point night.
Yep.
Yeah, totally. That actually is a really good point. Really good point. Like you said, I'm excited to see the defense-offensive matchup. The Raptors are the defensive team, of course. The Bulls, all the offensive team. That'll be very interesting to watch. And the Bulls aren't a huge team either. So
outside of Vucevic, they don't have much for bigs.
Exactly. So I think it's the teams that have the real size where the Raptors are going to struggle. But I think it's going to be good for them to get like the size, except for a team like the Mavericks. But I think a lot of these games, if they can pull and win them, we'll give them some momentum and we'll give them some confidence.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Chicago, I think, is looking great. Like, I'm really excited to see how.
I like their roster a lot.
Yeah.
Close game against the Pistons tonight, but.
Like, I just wrote down here, like, I'm excited to see Lonzo play.
The Chicago Bulls didn't play. They played a really small bench today. Their biggest player off the bench was Alizé Johnson.
He's 6'7".
Yeah.
And he's not a Montrezl Harrell 6'7". He's like a.
Speed high, like 6'7".
Yeah, he's like a small forward, power forward, 6'7".
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a fun game. I'm excited for that one.
Me too.
Interesting. Okay, yeah. So and the only thing I had else written down was just I'm excited to see Lonzo play. I'm really excited.
Oh, we know that. We know you are.
I just like watching him play.
I'm gonna watch him before that game for sure.
And so
Boston, Chicago.
So I didn't have the last game written down. Which is that on Wednesday?
It's Indiana on Wednesday, and honestly, we
have a lot of home games.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Next. After we're playing Boston, those next three are all in Toronto.
Yeah. And I honestly don't have a lot for Indiana just because last year was so weird for them. And they've got Rick Carlisle though, that he's a good offensive coach, and I think that could.
They have a lot of offensive tools. Also
and
that team.
I don't know who guards Sabonis. I would really like to see OG on Sabonis.
He will guard Sabonis.
Yeah, I think that could be a fun little matchup. And last time, if you guys remember. Not the last time they played Indiana, but OG had a awesome game last year against Indiana with Pascal Siakam out. I think he had over 30 points and just like attacking the rim. No Miles Turner, so that might change a lot. But yeah, I don't have much on Indiana this year just because
it's hard. I don't know what to expect from
them.
Yeah,
and they've got so many injuries.
They could be the same as last year, or I can see them doing really well.
Yeah, you never know.
Totally.
Yeah, Nate Bjorkgren revenge game, assistant coach of the Raptors. He's gonna. Or Indiana revenge against him.
Nate Bjorkgren. I don't love our matchup against Indiana. Malcolm Brogdon 6'5", and then they have two wings and they have the two big men. I think it'll be an interesting game. So something I want to mention also is right now with Pascal out, OG's our go-to guy, as you mentioned. Him and Fred. OG, I'd say more so. And if he's our best defender too. If we got him playing defense, it's hard to ask him to play 38 minutes a game and play the best on both ends, right? So I'm kind of worried for that. That's also I'm kind of worried for against Boston, where we'll have OG guarding their best guy and working all night, and we'll see what his offensive production can be with that. That's what I'm looking forward to having Pascal back, where we can relax OG on offense, but he can focus more on that defense, or vice versa.
Yeah.
And
All right. Wow. Okay. Any closing thoughts by the gentleman here tonight?
It's one game. It'll be okay.
Yeah, don't overreact.
Hopefully, please tell me it'll be okay.
Yeah.
It'll be okay. It's one game, I'm really excited for this week. Fun opponents.
Chris Boucher, if you're watching, just relax a little bit. On
Yeah.
that offense.
Yeah.
Chris, we believe in you. We love you.
Yeah,
It'll be okay.
We know what he's capable
It'll
of.
be okay.
One thing that I do want to mention before we head out is that let's not forget that I truly believe that this is a talented Raptors roster. These guys are all great basketball players. And
I love the vibe this year. You know
exactly.
what I mean? A lot of them are just young, high energy guys, right? Scottie,
Totally.
Delano. No, I think we have a lot of potential here. I think we just got to get it going. We just got to get a rhythm.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? And it's not easy to get a rhythm, especially with a team that again, these are we have 10 new guys in the team this year. Gary just came in. And then
there's 4 guys who have played real games in Toronto
everybody's acting like this team is
it's been there forever.
But they really haven't. I mean, it may feel like that, which is a good sign, but it really isn't. It really isn't indicative of what their true potential is, because they just need more time together, and they just need more, a little bit more experience and playing time and just minutes and touches and.
Same as the Lakers, right?
Exactly.
The Lakers have been struggling, and preseason and yesterday, I guess they didn't struggle. They lost to a good team. But OG, Boucher, Pascal, and Fred. Those are the only since COVID started. Those are the only guys who've played in Toronto.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's a whole new team, man.
Yeah.
Whole new team and whole new. They're all getting adjusted to the city too.
It's true.
A lot goes into it.
It's true. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking way forward. I'm just very excited for the playoffs. I think that these.
Damn.
Well, no.
Okay.
I mean that. No. What I mean by that is that
finals.
No. What I mean by that is that I think that this is going to be a very interesting season, I think, to watch. I think we're going to see a lot of things that are going to surprise us throughout the season.
Yeah.
And so when I think I'm only saying this just because of our conversation yesterday. The only reason why I'm mentioning the playoffs is that I really don't know what to expect. I really don't. And at the end of the day, I'd love to see the Raptors go far. I'd love to see them. Do I think they have the potential to do it? I think so for sure. But at the same time, in the same breath, I can say, yeah, I could see them getting kicked out first round.
Or not even making the play-in.
Yeah, exactly.
That's totally a possibility.
I absolutely think so, too.
I'm not upset if they don't either, though, to be honest.
No.
If they don't make it, next season.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I didn't want to jump too far ahead. I want to explain myself a little bit.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
Closing thoughts, Elias?
Not much else to say, I don't think. I think we again, just done over, one game. We were all overreacting during the game.
Yeah.
We just got to remind.
Such a soft call.
There were some soft calls.
Yeah, there were.
Okay. We're good.
I just.
Yeah, Sam needs to we need to get to do some
meditation.
Yeah.
Some breathing
Last
exercises.
10 minutes of Raptors games when we lose should be a meditation podcast.
Yeah.
Some ASMR too.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Raptors meditation podcast.
Breathe in.
So we're gonna
breathe out. It'll be okay.
Chris Boucher, please.
No more pull-up jumpers in the corner mid-range. No,
Okay.
yeah, I'm excited. Looking forward to the next game against Boston. Better matchup, and they'll learn from this game also. It's a learning curve.
Yeah, I think so too. I think learning curve is the word of
That's the motto of the season.
The motto of the season is the learning curve. So that's
wins and lessons.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, we're just about to hit an hour here.
Wow, nice.
I'm going to cut out a few minutes at the beginning, so it'll be just under an hour podcast, but no worries.
And not much to talk about in this one either.
Yeah, we went long.
There really isn't.
We went long the other night.
Yeah,
so
we did went way long. We were talking about NBA. We were talking about all.
We were talking
sorts
about Travis
of
Barker and
Kim Kardashian.
Kim Kardashian's
yeah,
SNL
who
performance.
Cheated, who cheated on.
And what
who
NBA
cheated
players
on
have
who.
cheated on their.
We became a drama podcast.
Yeah,
Okay, well, if that's all that we have to say for tonight, thank you guys for coming. Well, I'm so used to saying that.
We'll be back.
I'm so used to saying that from the other podcast, but it's cool that this is our podcast.
Legit, man.
So thank you guys for listening to the podcast and tuning into our show. Before we head out of the podcast, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere else you guys get your podcasts, make sure to leave us a rating and also leave us a review. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. at Rap Chat Podcast, where we post new updates, clips, and whatever else about the Raptors and this podcast every week. So we will see you guys next week. Peace out.
See ya.
Peace.